Hello everyone, welcome back to another session by K21 Academy. Today our expert trainer will be talking about AWS Simple Storage Service, that is AWS S3. So let's get into the video.
Today we are going to take up another service. Like last class we have seen the compute services in cloud. So we have studied about the EC2 instances and load balancers. Today we will be taking up another service which is provided by cloud to us. That is our storage service. So Amazon provides you three different type of storage services which we use in our on-premise environments also. Object storage, block storage, and file storage. Amazon also provides you all these three categories. So when we talk about object storage, so Amazon provides you it in the form of S3. The full form of S3 is Simple Storage Service. So Amazon provides you it in the form of S3. If we talk about the block storage, Amazon provides you the same in the form of EBS. The name of the service through which Amazon provides you block storage is your EBS service. Okay, fine. So when we were talking about storage, so these are the three categories of storage that we usually have in our on-premise data centers also. And Amazon also provides you all the three categories that in cloud. As I was on that the block storage is provided with the name of EBS, that is Elastic Block Storage Service. So these are the name of the services that we get in the cloud. If we want to have object storage, we have to go for S3. If we want to have block storage, we have to go for the service EBS. Similarly, if we want to have a file server, we want to have a shared file server for multiple users. So there are two services which are available with Amazon. One is EFS, which is Elastic File System, which is specifically for the Linux machines, and we have FSX, which is there for the Windows machine. So these are the various file services which are available with Amazon. Apart from this, in storage, we also have storage gateway. So we'll come on to it later. So first, let us understand the simple storage service, the S3, which is actually nothing but the object storage in cloud. Okay, this is nothing but the object storage in cloud. So whenever you create a account in Google Drive, you all must have created an account in Google Drive or in OneDrive. So do we format that particular drive location whenever we are storing something? No. So that is one of the trait of your object storage. If you want to have the similar kind of storage in cloud, that is in AWS, S3 is a solution to that, because from here you can actually store and retrieve any amount of data at any point of time from anywhere through internet. So whatever content you upload in the S3 service, it can be retrieved immediately as soon as you upload, just like your Google Drive and OneDrive. And but it is far more cheaper than the OneDrive and the Google Drive services if we compare the costing. So it is far more cheaper. That's why corporates are preferring to use S3 services instead of OneDrives and Google Drives. So the symbol over here which is drawn, it is in the form of bucket. It is looking like a bucket. And similarly, the name of the logical partition that we create in simple storage service, it is also known as a bucket. So bucket is nothing but a logical division of storage location which is available in the cloud. That is known as your bucket. In the bucket, you can upload the files. The files which are uploaded in the bucket could be a video file, a picture file, a code repository, or it can be a music file. Whatever type of content, platform independent content, can be loaded into the buckets. And when you upload these content into the bucket, they are referred as objects. So this is a object, this is a object, this is a object, and this is also object. So bucket do not consider them as video, pictures, music files. They consider it as object and store it as object. With S3, so as to show you the practical screen for the S3, from where you can actually see how the S3 looks and how does it can create your buckets in the portal. So I have already logged on to my portal. I'm logging to my account. The name is written over here. So you can go to the search bar at the top, and then you can simply write S3. So you'll be able to see that particular service of S3. Otherwise, you can click on the services, and under the section of storage, you'll be able to see the S3. In our AWS Solution Architect full course, we teach all these things which are there: S3, EFS, FSX with hands-on practical. Today, I'll be showing you the S3 as a service over here. From here, you can see if you click the S3 service, this is the dashboard that you get. And on this dashboard, you will be able to see the buckets that you have created. Bucket is nothing but a logical location where your files and folders can be uploaded into the cloud. So if you open this particular bucket, you will be able to see that there are certain folders which are created like the CSS, image, JS, and then there are certain files also which are kept over there. If you click on any single object, you will be able to see the associated metadata for the object. So this particular makes the block storage different from the object storage. With the object storage, you have this metadata information which is available, which can be used by the APIs for doing the configurations. With block storage, you don't get this particular. So this is another difference. As I have told you, one difference was there. For the block storage, you need to format the data. For the object storage, you don't need to format the drive. It treats the object as platform independent. There is no format which is specified in advance. Another benefit that cloud storage holds for you, this metadata section, which can be used by your APIs, so that you can use these codes and use these tags in the programmings. You can fetch this information from your code window. So this is another benefit that you get out of the buckets. And the beauty is that these, some of the metadatas are fixed, and you can even configure some of them. So you can see the whole list of objects which are listed over here. If you want to upload an object, simply click on upload and upload it as you upload for a normal OneDrive or a Google Drive location. In fact, you can even, select any file, click, drag and drop. So click, drag and drop, and your object will start getting uploaded. So you can simply say upload and the object will get uploaded on your bucket. It's that easy. It's similar that the Google Drive and OneDrive that you use, it's quite similar to that, with more added features which are enabled. If you see, there are a lot of properties that can be set for the buckets. Versioning, the GitHub property, so you can maintain the version of the objects. You can, and enable the encryption. You can have logging, who is putting what into your bucket and who is accessing what. So it can be done over there. In fact, you can host a simple website out of the bucket. So all this content that I have uploaded in the bucket, which you guys were able to see, that is actually a content of a website. And if I enable this particular property, static website hosting of my bucket, I will be able to get a URL. And if I copy paste this URL into the window from the bucket, I have actually uploaded the content and made it a static website which is hosted over here. The only thing is that because these particular contents that I have kept over here are specific to be used by some people, they are not open to all. If I want this bucket website to be visible to everybody, I have to select all the object and say them make public. As soon as I say them make public, all the objects inside my bucket will become public and my website will start working for me. You see this now? This is working for me. It's this simple. Uploading the content is also very simple, managing it over there, and all the properties that you see can be done on a single, click. So it is a GUI based components that you get. So it becomes very easy for you to manage the contents and access them via the portals. As you are aware, I have told you that the AWS portal can be accessed either by GUI or by CLI. It's a well-known fact that the CLIs are, much more stronger than the GUIs. But with AWS, I can say that if CLI is 100% strong, then GUI with AWS is also 90% strong. It's not very weak like rest of the portals that we get. The CLIs are very strong and GUIs are very weak. With AWS, it is 90% as much as strong than the CLI portion. So it's more than sufficient for a solution architect to learn the things from the GUI, that is graphical user interface perspective. And you see the things are so easy and smooth over there. So whenever we have a S3 service, we can create a bucket inside it. Inside the bucket, we can have folders, and inside the folders, we can upload the objects. these objects can be made public as I have done just now. It's so easy. Just select the object, click on actions, make public. The object will become public, and then anybody can see the object and can download the object. So it's my choice. I have a complete access control that I can do on the bucket, who can access my file and who cannot access the files. Okay, so right now over here in this picture, you see that there are 4 buckets. In my account, there was only 1 bucket which was there. And creating the bucket is also very, very simple. If you will just go to the portal and click on create bucket, put the name of the bucket and the bucket will get created. It's as simple. We will go into the details of, creating the bucket. I'll show you quickly how to create a bucket also so that you become familiar. Just click on create bucket, provide a name, make sure that you are providing the name all in smalls. That's it. And then say create bucket. There are some other features also which are there which can be enabled or disabled, but at this point of time it will be very difficult for me to go into the details. But this how you can create your bucket. See, the other bucket is also created. It's that easy, the GUI. So the AWS Solution Architect course itself is very easy because everything is done via the GUI portal, and it becomes, very smooth when you operate via GUI. This is another beautiful feature that we get out of Amazon, and very important from the point of exam, a point of view of exam, the storage class that we get in the bucket. That these are the various storage classes that are available. Now, what do I understand by storage classes? Whenever you upload a object into a bucket, the bucket object gets stored into some storage location. Now, based on that location, the accessibility of the object is defined. Whether the object is immediately available to be accessed after it gets uploaded, can I delete it from the bucket immediately after I uploaded it? Can I do changes to the object frequently? So all these parameters are considered because based on that the pricing is defined. So these are the various storage classes which are available with Amazon. You have got S3 standard, the one that I have used when I was uploading the object, that was S3 standard. In this, if you have a data which is frequently accessed by you, which is actively accessed by you, then you should use S3 standard. With S3 standard, what is the benefit that you get? Whatever object you keep in the bucket, 3 or 5 locations, at 3 or 5 locations the copy of the object will be stored by AWS. And if by any chance this object becomes unavailable due to the mistake or malfunctioning of the hardware at AWS data center, your object will be still available to you from these 3 locations. So there will be an high availability of your data from 3, more than 3, or equals to 3 AZ. AZ stands for availability zones. So this is the standard S3 storage. Obviously, because with this you are using frequently accessed data, and the object that you upload into the cloud immediately becomes available to you. That's why it is the most expensive storage class which is available to you to be used. Another storage class that is available, I'll skip this one because I'll come to it at the last. So another storage class which is available to you is S3 standard IA, which stands for infrequent access data. So that means if you have a data which is not being frequently accessed by you, you uploaded it, and like after 2 3 months probably you are accessing and seeing that particular data, then that kind of data can be kept in the S3 in standard infrequent access. In this, the high availability is still the same, that is 3 or more than 3 availability zones your data will be stored. But then if you retrieve the data from the cloud, you have to pay additional charges, whereas in case of S3 standard the retrieval charges are also included in the charges which are there. So if you are not accessing the data, you are actually not paying for the retrieval charges. If you are retrieving the data, you will be paying for the retrieval charges. So Amazon gives you a flexibility over here with standard infrequent access. Similarly, all the things are same in standard, that is S3, one zone infrequent access. In this, the only difference comes up on the high availability of the data. it do not keeps the multiple copies of data in multiple availability zones. It will keep the copy of your data in the same availability zone only. So if the whole availability zone, which is actually synonym to a data center of Amazon, so if the data center of Amazon goes down, the data will be lost. So the high availability has been reduced. So if your data is not very, critical for you, you can recreate the data if it is lost even. So then you can save cost and can store the data in standard one sorry in S3 one zone infrequent access. You see the cost comparisons. So it is going lesser when we are moving towards the right. So you can keep the data in one zone. Okay, but that when it is a standard infrequent access, standard one zone infrequent access, the data once kept in the cloud will be there in the cloud for 30 days. You cannot delete the data before that. If you delete the data before that, then also you will be charged for at least 30 days keeping the data in the cloud. So that is the basic feature. But whereas with this, the S3 standard, you can immediately upload the data and immediately delete the data if it is no longer required. Okay, but then there is a lot of cost difference between them. So based on the requirement and the kind of data that you're going to store in the bucket, you can select the appropriate storage class. Moving ahead, on the right hand side, the S3 Glacier, another, yet another storage class which is available with Amazon. With this, if you have some backup data, some archiving data that has to be stored, which is very less frequently used, and just it has to be kept stored in Amazon location, so that if at any point of time it is required, you can retrieve it. And then retrieval also has not to be very fast, that you clicked on the file and the file is open in front of you. You don't want it to be that fast. Your retrieval time can go up to minutes to hours. Like suppose say the CCTV recording is the best example. If I have like the last year's CCTV recording has to be stored, I don't want to see it immediately. Even if somebody demands from me, I can say that, okay, I will get it available to you. I will raise a request at Amazon portal. My data will be available to be used to me within some minutes or some hours, depending upon the occupancy of the team. So once it is available with me, I can retrieve the data and can show it to whosoever is the person asking me for that. But then the charges, you see, it goes so down as compared to the rest of the storage classes. So by selecting the right storage class, you can save a lot of cost. So over here, see, you are paying even less. So it is actually $0.0099 per GB that you are actually paying when you are going into deep glaciers. So in deep glacier, your retrieval time goes up to hours, not minutes. It goes up to hours, 5 to 6 hours. You ask for the data will be available to be used in 5 to 6 hours. So these are the various storage classes that are available to you to be used. As you select the storage class, you can save the cost. Depending upon the storage class that you are selecting, you can save the cost of the data that is being stored in the cloud. Whatever amount that you will be charged on that data, you can play with that by understanding the criticality of the data, or by understanding the frequency of access of your data. You can move between them. And then Amazon in fact gives you an automation for this movement. S3 intelligent tiering. So it plays between these two storage classes. So if your data is being so if you have kept your data in the bucket, if it is being frequently accessed, it will keep it into the standard storage. If it finds that it has been 30 days and you haven't used the data, it will automatically move to the infrequent access storage, and it will keep swapping it from frequent to standard, standard to frequent, and thus saving your cost. So this is known as your intelligent tiering storage class. So these all are the storage classes which are available for you to be used. Based on your requirement, you can select one out of them. And then after that, on top of it, as a facility, Amazon in fact gives you a life cycle policy. So the beauty over here is we have got 6 storage classes which are available with us, and moving the data manually from one storage class to another storage class becomes a task for us. Just imagine a CCTV recording scenario itself. When my data is the recent data, that means the recording of this month, it has to be in the standard storage. When the recording has gone 3 months old, it should move to the infrequently access. If it is older than 1 year, I should move it to glacier. And if it is even older than an year, like it's 2 years old, I should move it to deep glacier. So that kind of automation cycle I can create with the help of the life cycle configuration example. So I can put my data into S3 standard when I create the data. After 30 days of object creation, I can move it to S3 standard infrequent access. If after 60 days of object creation, it will be automatically moved to the S3 glacier. And after 465 days of creation, it will be automatically moved to deep glacier, or in fact, I can even delete the object. So I can create the life cycle of my object from the day it is born and when the object will die in the bucket. Okay, so I can create the complete life cycle for my object. And these numbers that we are talking about over here, 30, 60, 465, these are customizable numbers based on your requirement. You can always go ahead and can do the change in the numbers. So over here in the bucket, under the tab of management, you get this particular life cycle rule that can be created. You see, just click on it and select the options that you want to take up. So this can be created in the bucket, whichever bucket you want to enable. So it is to be enabled at the bucket level. So whenever an object is created in the bucket, it will be there as it will be there in the standard storage. After 30 days, it will move to infrequent access so that I can save some money. After 60 days, it will be moved to glacier so that I can save another amount of money. And after 465 days, it will automatically get deleted. That the transaction records has to be kept for 7 years. So this delete I will put for 7 years. I can put that after 7 years, multiply it with 365 days, and you'll get the number of days. So you can mention that after so many days, delete the data. So from the S3 glacier, you can even add a step that after S3 glacier, move it to deep glacier. So you can further save cost, a lot of cost onto it. After that, move it after that, after 7 year, delete the data. So you can customize the life cycle and can add hops into it as and what you require based on your requirement. So this is your S3 life cycle management, which can be done again via the GUI. So there was a question that like, can we do this particular life cycle management across the region? See, basically over here, you will be moving your storage class within the region. So if your storage class is standard in a region, it will be standard infrequent access in the same region. It won't be moving to another region. If you want to move your data to another region, this is the answer for you: S3 replication. With S3 replication, what we can do is, we can keep a bucket. Oh, sorry, let me change the pen. So you can make a bucket as primary and can make another bucket as secondary. So whatever data you put in your primary bucket, whatever objects you create in your primary bucket, it will be automatically moved to your secondary bucket. You can have multiple type of replications which can be there. One is no replication. These two buckets are individual of each other. One is unidirectional replication. You keep the data in bucket A, it will be automatically replicated in the bucket B. Another type of replication which is possible is bidirectional replication. Either you put an object in bucket A, it will be automatically copied to bucket B. If you put an object in bucket B, it will be automatically replicated to bucket A. So this is known as bidirectional replication. And in this replication, I can make that my bucket A is in region Mumbai, and my bucket B is in region North Virginia, NV, Ohio, or whichever region you want. So you can create the buckets into separate regions and can enable the replication on it. But bear it in your mind, whenever you are moving your data across the region, there is a data transfer charge which is happening. There is a data transfer charge which will be incurred on your account, because moving the data across the regions, that means you are utilizing the internet bandwidth of Amazon, and then you have to pay for it. Okay, So make sure that if it is mandatory necessary, then only put it over there. If you are doing it for the DR perspective, then it is a best practice to do. Otherwise, you can keep it in the same region, because if you want to avoid this data transfer charges. So this is known as your another feature of S3, that is S3 replication. This also can be enabled very easily with the help of the portal. You just have to, go to the replication rules. Just below the life cycle rules, you have got the replication rule. Create one. Who is your destination bucket? So this bucket, nishbuck one, is obviously your source bucket. Who will be your destination bucket? In the replication rule, you need to provide to that. And whenever you are moving the data from your source bucket to the destination bucket, if you want to change the transition, if you want to change the storage class, that is also possible by using the replication rule. So this is yet another feature that you get in the bucket, and this can be automated. As soon as the data from the bucket A is replicated to bucket B, probably in bucket A it was in standard storage, and as soon as you copied it to bucket B, it went to standard infrequent access. So you are saving cost for the replica of the bucket. So all these automations can be applied very easily with the help of your bucket replication rules and lifecycle manager policy. So here we are going to end up with our S3 buckets.
So, guys, this was our expert from Team K21 Academy. And if in case you missed upon any concept, or if you want to dive deeper into the concepts, then we have something really special for you. We have our free class on Amazon AWS Solution Architect Certification for Beginners. Under this free class, you'll be learning about why and who should learn AWS, cloud services, deployment models, and AWS services as well. And the most important part is you'll be getting hands on labs, job opportunities, along with Docker and Kubernetes in AWS, and amazing, amazing stuff. So, if you want to register for this free class, all you have to do is just log on to your browser and type k21academy.com / AWS SA02. And after that, you'll be seeing this kind of interface. You just have to click on book your free seat now, select your event date, add your name, your email address, your phone number, and click on yes, save my seat. And after that, you'll be seeing this kind of page. You just have to save this link on the extreme right, add it to your calendars, and I'll see you in the free class. Till then, keep learning.